Hey, howdy hey, and welcome back to Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. And today it's time to delve into a horror icon. Let's take a look at Ash Williams in Evil Dead 2. Not only have people been requesting this like mad, they've also been directing me to the TV series Ash vs Evil Dead. And doing TV related horror isn't what I'd said I'd do, but, well, we'll see. Now, Bruce Campbell, who plays Ash Williams, seems to be a strange amalgam of Bruce Willis and Jim Carrey. He carries off the whole badass thing with as much mugging and flailing of his limbs as he possibly can. He's also fairly remarkable in so much as he's the only horror icon I can think of who's traditionally a good guy. Now, in the first Evil Dead film, Ash emerged as the protagonist in the second half, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to him in this film. And just look at that DVD cover. I was going to use a prop for this bit, but the rest of the skull won't be here until the 16th, so... Hey, let's watch Evil Dead 2! We kick off with an epic-sounding intro with an evil book with a face. Nice one. Hey, Ash, how are you doing?
I feel funny about being here. What if the people who own this place come home?
They're not gonna come back. Hey, what do you say we have some champagne, huh, baby? Huh?
Champagne, eh? Oh, you dog, you scallywag. So this part of the film basically rewrites the first one by getting rid of Scotty, Cheryl, and Shelley, who apparently nobody gives a crap about. Ash plays the tapes once more, and that conjures a lesser spotted demon. Wunch. Here we go again. Ash gets possessed, but luckily the biggest sunrise this side of Pride Rock happens, and he's saved. We then meet these two. There's Annie, whose father translated the Necronomicon, and her boyfriend Ed. They're on their way to the cabin to find the tapes. Crikey, blimey, look at this.
What have we here?
So Linda's head bites Ash's hand, and he fights both her head and body. Not only does he get splattered with blood, but also motor oil, for a change. Ash's bitten arm gets possessed and begins to whine, somehow, so guess what he eventually does? Oh, who am I kidding? Most of you have already seen the film. Watch! Is the chainsaw attachment thing badass? Unquestionably. Would I wear one? Probably not. If my hand got cut off, I'd probably go for a crowbar or a big fork, something that could be useful after the whole mess was over. Oh yeah, sorry. back to the film. So these four make it to the cabin, going along a secret trail, and Annie's convinced that Ash has killed her father, whose cabin it is. But soon enough, the reality of the situation dawns on everybody, and we get plenty of demon-y goodness. Now then, I'd say I like this one at least as much as I like the first Evil Dead. A lot of things about the two films are similar. There's the creative camera angles, there's the music, there's the sense of silly scariness that was present in the first one and has been magnified here. This bit with the possessed hand is basically a Tom and Jerry cartoon. And remember how Ash got covered in blood in the first one? Well... I think director Sam Raimi has kind of a demented sense of humour. I say that because I've seen a more recent film of his, Drag Me to Hell, and that definitely reminded me of this one. Especially the possessed goat. But some things in Evil Dead 2 are different. The demons don't have such shrill cackles, and their victims suffer more obviously with putrefaction. It also expands on the whole Book of the Dead thing. Annie explains that the first translated passage will summon the demons, and the second one will create a rift that sucks them back into an alternate dimension. This sets up the third film, which I can tell will be awesome just from this little bit of foreshadowing. Just look at that. Look at it! As I've already mentioned, Ash is one hell of a badass in this film.
Groovy.
Yeah!
Swallow this.
Yeah!
Join us.
Yeah, what?
Join us.
You're an arse?
Join us.
That's not what I heard.
Join us.
Okay, so Ash is cool, but I also think it's interesting that he can be as scared/crazy as he is at the same time. Not to mention impressive that he can act through all that makeup. Another trait he shares with Jim Carrey, by the way. Annie's a decent character too, and is actually useful, retrieving the pages of the Necronomicon from the fruit cellar and reading the translated verses aloud. Apples and pears. Apples and pears. Ashy and Annie are heading downstairs. What will they find? Nobody knows! Just kidding, it's a witch who's going to eat their faces. I will say this though, clearly Annie's never taken a course of first aid. See, instead of keeping the stabby thing in, she removes it. Instead of leaving the casualty where he lies, she drags him to the other room. And where she should have applied a dressing, reassured the casualty, and helped him into a better breathing position, she instead leaves him next to the trapdoor where the witch gobbles him up. Not ideal. And Evil Dead 2 ends with Ash getting sucked into a medieval land of the Deadites. Poor guy can't catch a break. Well, that's the film, and to everyone who recommended it to me, you were pretty much right about everything. The franchise seems to do whatever it wants, and that's a common thing with cult classics. Not everyone will like it, but the people that do will love it forever. For that reason, I give this film 8 jam sandwiches out of 10. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next... What? Woohoo! I can make references to this film! Cheerio!